Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast. As I always say, the only podcast that you didn't know you needed. I say to my two friends here, Lady Luck never smiles, so lend your love to me a while. Do with me what you will. Break the spell. Take your fill. Say hello, Josh.
That is some of the greatest, hottest Night Ranger talk I've ever heard.
Yeah. Let's make it authentic.
I decided to say hello, Brent.
Hey, you know, it was
that's a little cold.
How many years ago was it when Rick lost his arm?
What was it, 85?
It was like
84, probably.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that for that reason, but I'm glad you brought that up. It was New Year's Eve, 1984, going into 85, I would say, Josh. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
The drummer for Def Leppard, Rick Allen, lost his arm in a car accident in England. I just happened to be wearing a new Christmas present. My daughter got me a Def Leppard shirt, so I was wearing it today, and I was like, well, I usually open with Night Ranger lyrics, but I'm going to honor the Def Lepp today. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Brent, how was Christmas? How was life? Everybody good?
Everything's good. You know, New Year's was great. I have a new hashtag Brent Save Money, because I did not buy the Kiss concert.
Yeah.
Since it's all going to be released this spring. And last night, as you two know it, I was going through YouTube, and voila, there was the whole show.
Well, and that's to say, this is the very first episode of the new year. So Happy New Year to everybody if you're watching it. We are all survived 2020. Let's get this on and start 2021 with a bang, with a great new interview, great new episode. Josh, this is this is Eric Levy again, right?
This is Eric Levy playing his 13 favorite Alan Fitzgerald Night Ranger riffs.
The 13 is funny because I think you had told him originally 10.
When we were talking, I'd thrown the idea out there. You know, let's count down your top 10 favorite Night Ranger, Alan Fitzgerald riffs, and that is what I thought we'd come to an agreement on. Then when you'll see that it gets a little sidetracked, and it doesn't quite go that way when we get him on, but it turns out great, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Eric is a friend of the show. A friend of Josh's, I would say.
He's a friend. He's a friend of every Night Ranger fan.
He really is.
Yeah.
He came back and willingly wanted to come back to the show. We didn't have to beg or offer him anything. He comes back, does another great episode, and he plays Night Ranger songs, which is, I think you'll see some of my reactions. I'm a little fanboyish there because it's just cool. I don't care what anybody says. It's just cool.
There is something magical about hearing these parts isolated.
Yes.
And you will see me here. He will play a part of a song that I like the song. It's not usually a go-to of mine. But when I heard him play that isolated part, I was like, holy shit, it just made me fall in love with it all over again. I don't want to go any more into it, but you'll see it. You'll know exactly where I'm at with that when you actually watch the episode.
This may be the coolest episode we've ever done, meaning, we've had some great interviews with people, but as far as what this is doing, I mean, you'll see us all doing kind of like, oh my God, it's all very natural reactions, and I had a blast watching you two on the screen while he was playing.
I mean,
as well as myself.
Total nerd out. I mean, the hardcore fans are going to love it. If you're a keyboard player, you're going to love it because you hear Eric talk about how he learned things, how he does things, how impressed he is with what Alan Fitzgerald wrote and created and did with that band. And he pays much love and respect to Alan, which I think we all would if we had the chance to talk to him. But hopefully sometime in the future in the life he sees this and hears this, and he knows that he is well loved and missed by the fans.
Yeah, really, this is not only a great episode with Eric Levy, but it's also a great tribute episode to the mystery man Alan Fitzgerald. So, it's
awesome.
We can't talk enough how instrumental Fitz was to the band and the legacy of this band.
And what was touching and I'm not going to quote it, but Eric looks into the camera and does a personal thank you to Fitz.
That's what I'm glad. I was going to touch on that, Brent. Eric really respects Fitz, and that just makes Eric even cooler, I think, in our eyes, and hopefully the rest of the fans see it in Eric, that he's just a genuine guy. And he sits in his studio and plays songs in our ears, and I think, but there's a 15-year-old version of me losing his mind. It's like Let Me Loose in the Hershey factory or the Willy Wonka factory. Just like, see you later. Gotta go.
Yeah, you be the one eating the everlasting gobstopper. And
I want it now, Daddy.
Yeah.
So,
punk.
So before we go deep left on Wonka, let's go on with the show. On the previous episode, do we have any thoughts, anything we want to discuss about the previous episode, besides being a great fun to do with you guys, and I hope the fans who watched it appreciate how much we appreciate them.
Yeah, the feedback of the episode was great, and I won't get into specifics, but the general feeling was it was great seeing people comment and thanking us for the page and the podcast and making their 2020. There wasn't a lot going on in 2020 that was positive, and we were a small little positive
small
impact
little beacon of light
in their life. So, yeah, I think it's only going to get better, guys. So if you enjoyed the podcasts and the Facebook page in 2020, I think you're really going to enjoy 2021 because we got some great stuff planned. Hopefully concerts start happening again and everyone on the page can start meeting, and we just take it to another level. And the page is only as good as all the listeners and everybody that contributes to it. And I mean, we just do a small part.
Yes.
All you guys are the ones doing all the great stuff, posting all the pictures and comments and all that. So, hey, it's great teamwork, yo.
Well, what was funny was Monday, and I forgot to mention this in the episode. I jumped on Lisa and Beth's video show that they do.
Yeah.
And the interaction and the razzing between everybody on that, I was almost in tears at point. There was probably 20 people on there, and I was on vacation, and I think it ended 1:00 my time, Eastern Standard Time, and everybody was in there having a blast. So Lisa and Beth, that's cool that you do that for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Again, I think Josh nailed it with the page is only as good as everybody else on the page. I put a little post out there, and I'll reiterate it here, that this whole thing, we talked about it in the episode. Three guys from Ohio, two of us were friends already. Josh, we kind of met. We've become friends. This just started out of fandom of a band that we just love. And Brent and Josh put the page together. The podcast came up, and it just took off. And the fans just keep coming, and they keep coming, and they just keep engaging. And we don't do that much. I mean, with this podcast that we do is truly a labor of love. We talk for hours, probably sometimes a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody in my life always says, how can you talk about Night Ranger that long? And I was like, sit down. Let's have a cup of coffee. What do you want to talk about? So I'm so thankful to the Fans in Motion page and you guys. And I would do want to say touch real quick on talk about postings. I know Josh has been seeing, I've been posting my Gary Moon pictures, Brent, from our show. Was that 95 that we went to?
Yeah.
Over Coyotes.
Now, it was during the summer, right?
Yes.
So it'd been probably July of 95.
July, I believe.
I love the feedback and all the people loving the pictures of Gary Moon and the guys. And I tagged Josh. If I don't know what to answer, I was like, Josh will answer because I don't know. I just have a handful of pictures. I have more to post. But like Josh says, I try to space them out so they don't overwhelm each other. So I'll post them more as I go. I have another probably 8 or 9 pictures to post from that show. One of them I posted I love is you see Brad crouched down on the floor.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what he was doing, but I think Kelly was doing somewhat of a solo, Brent. Do you remember?
I remember very little from the show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just trying to remember, because I thought that's why I took the picture. I was like, what is Brad doing? He's sneaking out like he's going to jump up and scare Kelly. So
it was just weird seeing them in that setting. And I even asked Gary when I was telling him about being at the show, asking him I said, do you remember a bar with a big moon on the wall behind you? Because,
yeah,
I mean, that was pretty cool. Him being Gary Moon, and you know where that's going.
Well, and I hope he sees the photos. I try to tag him. I know you said he joined the page, so I want hopefully he could see him. I don't know if he enjoys that stuff or not. I mean, I would. I'm a narcissist.
I don't know how active Gary really is on Facebook, so you may not. He may or may not see it, but I'll send him something to make sure that he does. And on those photos, a lot of people were asking who is the other guitarist, and we've talked about this before. It's a guy named. Zychek, David Zychek. He recorded additional guitars on the album, and he joined them for the tour of 1995. And he in his own right is a very accomplished guitarist. Had his own solo career. He's real big in Texas, and there are a lot of producers and other guitarist, Ted Nugent, that were fans of his, and unfortunately he passed away a few years ago, but we'll talk more about him when we get to the Mojo era episode.
That's very cool, and I'm glad, like I said, I kept tagging you in those, Josh, because I knew you would have more details about it, and so that's cool. And I said I'll post more as we go, and I finished up my run of Gary Moon Ranger era picks. Yeah, anything else on the previous episode, Brent, that you want to bring up, or Gary Moon?
No, the previous, the Kiss 2020 goodbye was just fun. It was fun. It gave me a moment to go through my computer as I do and just click on my mouse and trying to bring up images. And then when I see the playback on it, it's this big, and I always forget. The image is this big.
Yeah.
I want no jokes out of this.
Did I get a snapshot of that?
No. Yeah, you can go back and hit print screen, but when you go back and you watch it, you're like, it didn't transfer as well as I want, but I did have like Lisa contact me. She's, oh my God, did you put my name behind you? I'm like, I tried to put everybody's name behind.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job too with the montage, and then the list of all the guests we've had, and I don't know about you guys, you kind of just. The episodes just move and you move on, and you don't think about, the loss of Greg Eckler and David Lauser and the people that you had lined up. And I was like, wow, we've done pretty cool stuff.
It was a pretty impressive little, interview wise. And we're talking about the little piece of art that Brent made, where it showed the 6 or 7 individuals that we have interviewed in 2020. So for a young podcast to have Eric Levy of Night Ranger, Joel Hoekstra and Gary Moon, formerly of Night Ranger, David Lauser of the Sammy Hagar Band, and Glenn Burtnick of Styx, and who am I missing here?
Greg
Eckler of Rubicon.
Who, again, we didn't know we would not have him at the end of the year.
It was, when you see it, in print or picture, it's like, you know what, we didn't do too bad for a brand new baby podcast.
For three guys who really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I didn't want you to know I was doing that. It popped up because Josh has been on me. Because at the end of the podcast, or on the video podcast, he'll put 3 pictures of us, all like a screenshot. Yeah. And he's been saying for like a month and a half, will you get me some new pictures? So I went through and I pulled up some pictures, and I had to go through the shows basically, because I was just trying to find images of everybody smiling. They pretty much always do anyway, because it's a fun time. And and it was funny because I was watching more of the Greg Eckler, and there was one point, and I said this is going to be kind of like, this is safe. And damn it, that's really what it turned out being for him.
And I know we've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again because I think it's it makes it even more cool to me, and I'm sure you and Josh think the same way, but we talk about what it takes to put this show together. And, usually Josh is on the phone or on Skype ahead of time, and then we all get on, and then we stop recording, then we stop recording. I think every single guy has gone on like another half an hour to an hour after we're done recording, after their obligation is over to these three guys. They just keep, hey, what else? We talk about stuff, and it makes me feel like, because again, we put these guys up on pedestals to some degree. They're rock stars, and we're just guys who you two live in Ohio, and we don't know. We're just a bunch of guys. So I just think that people, you would love to see the conversations that happen after, that we just keep talking about stuff, because they're normal like us to a degree.
Yeah, and when you're not recording, you're a little bit more. Not that when we are recording, we're pretty loose recording, but when the light's not on,
yeah,
you can talk. And when also we're usually not talking about Night Ranger, the music business. We're talking about Andy's cramps or something dumb. So it's just us off topic. Even with us, like with Eric Levy, it ended up where me and him were the last ones still connected.
Yeah.
And we got down some rabbit hole talking about like other podcasts, like crime scene podcasts and history podcasts. So it's like, who knew we were going down that rabbit hole?
Yeah.
And
right. You figured they'd be in and out like, oh, it's nice talking to you. I got to go, nerds. And they take off. And it's just not how it goes. It always goes on, because I think hopefully we make them feel comfortable and they get a kick out of us. And who knows?
Josh talking about podcasts that he doesn't listen to podcasts.
Well, I would have loved to heard the one I was talking about. Actually, I don't know if I guess it would be considered a podcast, but it's a guy who uses Google Maps to show you locations of historical, like a battle of World War II. He'll take you to Google Earth. Let's do Pearl Harbor. He'll show you where the Japanese Navy took off, and then he'll show you on Google Earth where they flew in and what they hit, and he'll take historical photos and show you where the photo was actually taken, and then whatever the photo is where that was actually at. So that was my contribution. I was like, that podcast or whatever it is. And what's great is they're not long. It's like 10 minutes. So that's something I can do. But that and the Fans in Motion podcast, I was telling him, are probably the two best ones out there.
Yeah. Humble brag.
Well, like we said, the best Night Ranger podcast, period.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were probably the most downloaded Night Ranger exclusive podcast based out of Ohio and Nashville that's out there. And you can probably get those demographics.
Yeah, there you go.
We can all clap for ourselves. Let's hear it up. Yeah.
Let's move on to Night Ranger news.
What do we have in Night Ranger news? Anything?
Hello, this is Night Ranger news, sponsored by Clearasil.
Alcoa presents Night Ranger news.
I don't think there's much out there, right, Brent?
There's not much out there, but I know you have something you want to bring up.
All right, throw it to Josh, Brent.
I will. I'm here on the scene. Anyways,
I'm in the chopper.
There you go. Some KRP Les Nessman.
That was some fine reporting there, Josh.
Night Ranger is going to be in concert. Night Ranger is going to be in concert at Wabash, Indiana, July 10th. It's a Saturday, so it's a new show. Tickets are already on sale, but it's a great venue. It's not too far from Chicago, Indianapolis, Columbus. I think I'm a little bit south of Columbus. It's a 3-hour drive for me. So if you're looking for a good show to hopefully attend, just go to just Google Honeywell Center. Honeywell is one word. Center, Wabash, Indiana. And the tickets are available on their website. They don't go through Ticketmaster or anything like that. You buy them through their website. The front rows, the first 8 rows or whatever, are like $100. Everything else after that is, I think, $50, and then the top rows are maybe $40. but there's not a bad seat in the place. It's a very nice theater, and it's basically a big community. I mean, they got ballrooms and all kinds of stuff, and it'll be fun. So, Night Ranger, Wabash, Indiana, July 10th. And then they have announced the Joel Hoekstra 13, his second album. It will be coming out February 12th on Frontier Records. So track that down and go buy a copy. Don't stream the damn thing. Support these artists. Go buy yourself a CD. I think it's only being released on CD. I don't think there's a vinyl release. Support Joel.
Definitely. Get out there and buy physical copies.
Now, Andy?
Death to Ticketmaster and death to streaming. That's personal editorial there.
Have you decided that you were going to come pick me up on our way to Wabash in July?
I will let you know.
We have to do this.
There.
We all have to we have to be there.
Well, you got to get us Fans in Motion shirts.
I'm already there. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
I already got a Fans in Motion shirt. What's your problem?
I'm not getting a Fans in Motion shirt because I do not want to impede on the Night Ranger business. Thank you, Jack. Jack, that's for you, buddy.
See Brent's personal attorney.
All right, what do we got next?
New stuff. Anybody got anything new Night Ranger wise? New collectible, new whatever.
I do.
I think we all do. I have something I want to show. I actually have something new that I didn't have. It's not new, but I didn't have it.
I wanted to throw this out to our good buddy Josh. Josh was kind enough to send me this Night Ranger bottle opener because he knows I don't have any bottle openers. If he comes down here and he wants if he wants a Schlitz or whatever, it's blacks. What do you drink?
Josh was taking care of us.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
So
what do you? I figured that was one Night Ranger item you may not have had.
Did Josh get you anything else?
Yeah, hold on. I got to turn my background off here because
come on, amateur.
It's not showing up. Well, they changed it all. Anyway, I opened it up and there was this Rubicon album in there. And I'm like, oh, I already have this. But when I pulled it out, I'm like, well, there's no album in there. And I turned it over and
look at
my God, I got tears in my eyes. Greg Eckler.
Look at that.
Signed this, and I was touched. I wasn't expecting this, and it just made that interview that much more special.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you. What I'll tell you is next time I send you something up, I'll send you my other cover, which is in good shape. I
don't need it. You're fine.
Why didn't you send the vinyl with it?
I think probably what that one is I bought one time, and in the mail the vinyl was broken. So really? I probably pitched it. So with that, I just had the cover. And that's actually probably how I first got to talking to Greg, was I mailed out a few albums and had him sign them. And so dug one out. Cool. And
well, I also had to marry Josh Miss. I got this little bad boy. I don't know if you can see it. That is the 45 of Sentimental Street, which I think is one of their best songs. And also a little something like this.
Ooh, I came without a warning.
So I put up my little package from old St. Josh, and I was like, what in the heck? This is awesome. I actually have 0 45s from Night Ranger, and that made me very, very happy to have something. So, Josh, thank you, sir. You are a very kind soul.
I know what to get you next year.
I have 2 copies.
Regardless of what me and Brent say about you, you are a kind soul, asshole.
I have 2 copies of Secret of My Success on 45. Maybe we'll hook you up, Andy.
You don't even want to
in a couple of years.
You don't even want to see what my 45s look like.
And Brent, do you have anything else in the Night Ranger news you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited over this. Our friends at the Culture Factory USA had forwarded us over something really cool for the show, and everybody in 3, 2, 1. You're a little late there, Andy. We have the Dawn Patrol colored vinyl, courtesy of the Culture Factory. USA and Paris, France. I have been speaking to them about the show and the vinyl and what have you, and they sent us some to advertise and to review, and I got to tell you, they sound incredible. They look incredible, and anybody out there who does not have this release, it's over with. So if you're going to get this, you better get to your local record store to see if they're still in the album bins. You need to get it before the people on eBay realize that there's no more being pressed. And so what they're going to do is they're going to jack it up from $23 to $50 instantly. So those who don't have it, get it. It's well worth it. I'm so excited to see what the Midnight Madness is going to bring us at the end of the month in January. So thank you, Ed and Eric at Culture Factory. We're touched. It was
absolutely Culture
Cool.
Factory. I mean, how cool was that? Taking care of the fans in motion. I mean, they don't have to do that. But there's
only
we're getting the word out there.
1,000 pieces of this vinyl made.
Yeah.
So when it's gone, it's gone. So there is a release of Midnight Madness on a blue opaque, I think, vinyl that's going to be coming out. So look for it, and then hopefully with the success of these two releases, maybe we will get a 7. They'll keep going down the catalog.
Absolutely.
But thanks for them sending those promotional items to us.
Well, I think this page, these guys, they're going to get on top of that. I mean, they're going. It's already sold out, or it will be sold out.
It's already not. It's not that it's sold out. There's no more being shipped.
It's just 1,000. That's it.
The stock that's out there is out there. So
get them. Get them while you can.
What I was told was they did a few more, I guess, to get up to the in France, but that's it. They're done. So unless they're somewhere in the warehouses that your local record store orders from, that's it. So it was a very limited run, and it sold pretty well.
Vinyl's coming back. Everybody loves it. Most of the Night Ranger fans probably already have this vinyl or have Night Ranger on vinyl, but you don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to support these little companies that are doing this and getting this stuff out here, especially with this resurgence of vinyl. Show them the love. Buy them. Put them in your collection. Josh,
and there's
behind you.
Well, there's a previous episode, and I can't tell you off the top of my head, but it would be just a few episodes back where I opened the copy that I bought, and I think I made a separate video on the page too of me doing the actual opening as well. But it's done really well. It's the the dust jacket's done really well. The
how's it sound? I haven't listened to it.
I put it on. It sounds amazing.
Sounds great.
I mean, it's Night Ranger. It's going to be great. I get that, but
it's got an Obi strip and the so everything on it is in the sleeve on the inside is a very cool quality boardwalk reproduction sleeve, and so the
label boardwalk is a cool reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
They could have went with MCA, but no, they actually went back
and did the
to
original
the very beginning
boardwalk, and they went back and did the vinyl MCA release for Midnight Madness, and this Dawn Patrol is actually the one that they used is the second pressing, the one with the Bruce Cone management logo on the back. You can't see it, I don't think, because of the Obi strip.
Yeah, you can't. You can barely see it on the side of the barcode.
But yeah, if you really get into vinyl collecting, you want to learn about first pressings and second pressings, you go back to one of our previous episodes of collecting Night Ranger Dawn Patrol vinyl, and you can tell where is it a first pressing or a second pressing of Dawn Patrol. So, yeah, good stuff.
Let's thank them again. Brent, what was their?
It's Culture Factory, and if that confuses you all, actually the series is called Vinyl is Beautiful. They have a bunch of different artists they do this with, but the Culture Factory USA is the one that is actually putting this out.
And on a very early episode, I showed off the Styx Pieces of 8 that they done.
Yes, you did.
And I probably need to buy the. They redid the first, reissued.
They did Ted Nugent.
The first Ted Nugent album, the self-titled.
Is this kind of what they do? Is this their thing? Is their business?
Yeah, and they reissue a lot, and it's not just the rock genre. It's Motown and R&B, and there's a lot of other acts that they do. Just Styx and Ted Nugent.
CultureFactoryUSA.com, I believe, is the website you can go to. You can actually order directly through them as well.
Oh,
they
really?
have some in stock. And
well, that's awesome. These guys are great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I like to try to get somebody on there from there to discuss what it takes to go through and license these things, how they choose the colors. I even was joking around with them saying it would be great if the page could choose a color if they do another Night Ranger release. That would be so cool. But I'm not going to count our chickens before they hatch, And
I got one other new item. So this sticker.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
1984.
They had those at Spencer Gifts when we were kids.
And I didn't know.
Believe.
Well, to me, they remind me of when I was a kid, and they would have the gumball machines for a quarter, and you could get this. They'd be wrapped up in there, and you get like Michael Jackson, whoever. So I saw this. I'm like, I wonder if this is a reprint or not. Now it does have the, the copyright date, but they could obviously just reprint the whole thing. But on the back, it does have Winterland Promotions. Which was the company that did all that. So if they're going to make these in 2020, they're not going to do this. And
that's awesome.
And I looked at the person selling them, and he had a few others from the band, from other groups, and they were all the same. So it's either someone had collected them or just came across old stock or something like that. But just something cool that was out there. Night Ranger,
that
1984,
so cool.
Midnight
picture,
Madness.
Man.
Now, that same picture, that's on the, remember the white T-shirt, and it said Night Ranger in red, but it wasn't their logo. It just said Night Ranger going across it.
From when? From that era?
From 1984.
Okay.
Someone on Amazon has reproduced that shirt.
Oh.
And I was gonna buy it until I realized that it's from another country, and whenever I get something from those other countries, like I get a 2XL, it's actually like a medium.
Yeah.
So beware, it's not worth it.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna buy your Night Ranger shirts and stuff, just get them from the website. That's your safest.
NightRanger.com, exactly.
That's your safest bet.
Because I had bought something like 2 years ago off Amazon, and I didn't realize it was a reprint of somebody, and it came. And it fits my daughter's fine, but my fat ass, no. So beware.
All right, Brent, let's get on with the Fans in Motion, the page, the news, anything, any thank yous, anything that's been done.
We always have
to
something.
Acknowledge.
We always have something with the Fans in Motion news. Is it popped up there?
There it is.
Okay, good deal. Okay. Like I said, I always need you guys to help out a little bit because it's that big on my screen right now, and I'm looking here.
John Haynes.
John Haynes is brand new to the page, and he posted this, I believe, today.
John's not new to the page. He's been.
Oh, no. Is it?
No, he's been on the page for.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I got the wrong name. John Haynes is our Border Patrol agent, and with a K9, and he was running a contest last night, and I believe, like I said, I can't see what I've chosen here as well.
So it looks like you got the Seven Wishes album, probably a laminate or a backstage pass with probably the sticker, I'm gonna guess.
Yep, he was giving that away.
and then 2 pictures. It looks like of Eric. I can't tell from here. A couple of people signing stuff.
Yeah, he was giving this away, and you had to tell him what his profession was to the exact letter. And I was going through his page, looking at all of his badges, and
But you did not win then.
No, I did not win.
I should have won.
Police Squad.
Police Squad with Norberg.
But John keeps us safe out there. He protects us, and we thank you for your service, sir. And it's awesome what you bring to the page.
Absolutely, man.
What else we got?
We have
Ron
Crockett.
Ron Crockett he is a new guy.
To the page.
Yep.
Pardon me. I thought that's who I thought I was clicking on.
Look at
and
that.
Here he is outside.
Picture.
Yeah, It's super. And he said this is like his 50. He's seen Night Ranger 54 times. He said, I'm sure there's others that have seen more than me. I'm like, I love the band. I'm in the 20s, but not in 54.
He's got a speed, but I like.
But yeah, Ron Crockett, welcome to the page. Thank you for posting that. I think that's a hell of a great picture, and you're gonna love it here.
Yep.
Especially if you're listening to us bozos talking.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm going to Hawaii! Yay!
I got mail. You got mail?
So
I got mail.
I'm a principal.
That's all I have for Fans of Motion News. Josh, Andy, do you have anything?
I do. I'm going to answer a question that was on the page, and I just didn't feel like typing it out. So I told Michael Good that I would talk about it on the podcast. And I think it was based off a comment or a post that someone put up of their Man in Motion ticket stub, which then all the comments lead to other things. And his question was basically, why did they not perform Restless Kind live? And then
I saw that.
My next question was, are you talking about then or are you talking about now? And he said both. So Restless Kind live, well, then the songs that they played off the album Man in Motion was Don't Start Thinking I'm Alone Tonight, Man in Motion, Reason to Be, and maybe Halfway to the Sun off the top of my head were the ones that they played live. One reason why they didn't play Restless Kind then was it was not a single. So it was never released as a single. If they were going to include another ballad, it would have probably been I Did It For Love to promote the single. They didn't even do that. And
they didn't want to promote.
And, well, there really wasn't nothing to promote. It was kind of dead in the water. But and that tour didn't start till a couple months after that album had released. So I Did It For Love was already off the charts. It wasn't really on there much. But so, yeah, Restless Kind was not a single. And they're already playing a set list that's full of ballads that they have to play, that are the hits. Mm-hmm. And they're also playing at that time Let Him Run, which is another ballad, not a hit, but would be more recognized because no one really bought the Man in Motion album. The tour wasn't that big. The people going to see that would know Let Him Run more than Restless Kind. So, again, I don't know for sure. Obviously, I'm not in the band, and I wasn't there on the bus when they were making the set list, but that would be where I think that would be coming from, is they just weren't promoting it, and you've already got a set list full of hits that are ballads. You just can't throw in another ballad. And then why are they not playing it live now? They could, obviously. They did put it on the Greatest Hits. And the reason why they put it on the Greatest Hits, I think, was just to have something represent Man in Motion, the album. And also it's written by them. I mean, the logical thing would be I Did It For Love. It was a single, but that is written by someone else, Russ Ballard. So put something on there that is written by the band and can make them some money. That's just my opinion on that. But it is something that I think they could play now if they wanted to, if they ever wanted to throw it out there, just for the popularity of all the non-hardcore fans probably own Greatest Hits, and they know the songs off that record, and that's one of the songs off there. But the reason why they don't is still you have ballads that you're almost required to play. And if you're
Yes.
going to throw in a deep track, you're probably going to throw in a hard rocking song. And if you're going to throw in something off Man in Motion, you're probably going to play the title track or Halfway to the Sun, Don't Start Thinking, Reason to Be. You're probably going to play one of those songs over that. Again, my own opinion, but that is the reason why I don't think the band has ever played it live. It's just never fit into the scheme of things then or now. So,
Right.
Yeah, there you go, Michael. Hopefully that answer is good enough.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty logical reason for it. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're
mean,
proud of it. Just where you can only play so many songs.
look, yeah, you got to cut somewhere. And like you said, if you're not going to cut Goodbye or Let 'Em Run or, Sing Me Away or any of that stuff, Sentimental Street, you're just not going to cut those songs.
Yep.
And outside of those, the big hits, they have a handful of just great solid rock tracks that you're always going to hear. Touch of Madness, Rumors in the Air. So it's again, where do you cut? They're only going to play an hour, hour 45 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we made the set list, that shit would be different.
If we made the set list, they'd be looking at us like...
We'll do an episode. I told somebody on the page earlier, we were asking about a song or something. Oh, Rain Comes Crashing Down.
Oh.
And I said, look, great song. I don't think they've ever played it live. They may have. I don't recall.
They did on the Big Life.
But
you were there. You just
I
don't
said,
remember.
but I'll tell you what. If we do an episode of making our own set list, that's going to be on my own. Because it's hot.
What do we got next?
Anything
next?
left? Anybody got any new music they want to talk about?
Well,
Anybody
I don't have any new music, but I did get this on vinyl, and I'm happy.
What'd you get?
Black Sabbath Dehumanizer with Ronnie James Dio, 1992. Gatefold. Boom.
Look at that.
And a lot of people don't know if, Night Ranger, Kiss are my two probably favorite rock groups to collect. But if you're going strictly on music, there is nothing better than Black Sabbath. You can pick any rock band. I will throw you a Sabbath song that will kill it.
You'll have to send me, Josh, a list of songs I don't know Sabbath very well. It never struck with me. But as I've gotten older, I'm trying to go back now and appreciate music that I ignored growing up.
Yeah.
So if you want to send me a top 10 or 13, whatever.
Sabbath is
666.
Yeah. I mean, you do the first 5 classic Sabbath albums with Ozzy, and you have the 2 early 80s ones with, Dio. And then this one I just held up was the album that came out in 92 with Ronnie James Dio when he came back to the band. It's just, those albums are phenomenal. And, it's just, a lot of people don't know that, but Black Sabbath, above Motley Crue and every other group that I like, it's just, their songs are just, you can't get any better.
What was the singer that did No Stranger to Love they had for like one album?
Well, you're talking. They had Glenn Hughes sing on an album.
Yeah.
And you had Tony Martin sing on 4 albums in the late '80s and mid '90s. So
who's saying No Stranger to Love though?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Because I know Ron Keel was being announced to be their singer. And
Ron.
He went over and recorded with them.
Ron Keel, and who was the lead singer in Badlands?
Ian Gillan?
No,
Ray Gillan.
Yeah.
Damn, I was so close.
I think
Ray Gillan did some.
He sang an album. I think
that was on the Eternal Idol.
Is that the Eternal Idol album?
Yeah.
Where he sang the whole album, and then they got Tony Martin and
Tony Martin's who I'm thinking of. I'm guessing, because that's where Eric Singer met Gillan. And they formed Badlands after that. And
Sabbath, man. Generals gathering in their masses. You don't get any better than that. So,
Iron Man.
Yeah, even though we've heard it a billion times, and it's like Black Sabbath's Sister Christian, where you don't go to it. That riff, I mean, it's still iconic to this day.
Oh, yeah, Tony Iommi is iconic with his guitar playing.
Oh, yeah.
to wash the evil out of your ears from Josh's Black Sabbath, I'll tell you what I've been listening to, and it's going to really throw people for a loop.
No,
but I've gone back.
I know what you're going to say.
I've been listening a lot to Melissa Etheridge.
I knew it.
Greatest hits. Just a little palate cleanser there. I listened to so much 80s Rat, Dokken, Van Halen, Night Ranger. And sometimes I'm like, I got to take a break from this, or Butch Walker. So it's like, and I was just kind of rediscovered a CD of hers that I just had forgot about, and I was like, so I put it in, and so there you go.
I remember when he went to Lilith Fair to see her.
No, it wasn't Lilith Fair. It was actually a Melissa Etheridge concert. It was her.
Well, you went to Lilith Fair.
No, I've never been to Lilith Fair.
I thought you went to Lilith Fair. You went to something with her, and I told you that you were not going to pick up any chicks at that concert.
That was her. Yeah, it was her concert. Yeah, wow. You're not. Good luck there.
Yeah. You're not even.
Hey, you know what?
You're not even a good-looking lesbian.
Chicks. I know.
Yeah.
I don't even pull that off like a trucker lesbian.
The gift that keeps giving.
Let's get into the Eric Levy.
Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Right after these idiots get off the screen, it's going to be Eric Levy playing your favorite 13 Alan Fitzgerald. Brent looks like he wants to say something.
And if you got a lighter, you might want to keep it by your side because you're going to be doing this.
There you go. So sit back and enjoy Eric Levy. Hey, everybody. So here we are. You got Josh, you got Brent, and we have this guy, Eric Levy, with us. Eric is going to play for us. This is Eric Levy's 13 favorite Alan Fitzgerald keyboard riffs. So this is actually super exciting and cool, and I can't wait to see where this goes. No idea what he's going to play. Well, I have some idea. But we're here, so let's get this thing going. Let's see where Eric takes us on this keyboard adventure.
Sure. Yeah, and these are unranked, so I'm not saying at any particular order of my favorites or not favorites, or
Right. We'll put them in order because we know what should be right.
There you go.
We know what your favorite is.
It's okay. So I got let's see. First off, I got Rumors in the Air.
That's number one.
And this is there it is. Yeah, so it's fits like a melody that happens twice in the song, and it goes like. Yes, there it is. Rumors in the Air.
Wow,
cool.
Now, was that the riff that you were talking about that you were trying to learn, and you were doing it with one hand? And you're like, how did he do this? And you kind of had to, do both hands to get it.
Yeah, like good memory. Yeah, there were a few songs like that, but yeah, this might have been the main one. Yeah,
so
when I was first learning it, I'm like, how did he do that?
Does he play? Does he play with one hand?
Yeah, you don't get your typical keyboard player writing a riff like that. It's wonderful. I love it.
Did he play that with one hand, or that you just thought that?
You'll have to let me know if you can find that.
Yeah.
Well, the story.
The
story was when we were when we interviewed Eric a few months ago. He was talking about this song, and he's like, "There's songs where I'm trying to learn how Fitz plays," and I'm like, "How did he do this?" He's trying it with this hand, and eventually he had to kind of cave in and do it with both hands. And what's great about doing this episode is I don't think some people realize how instrumental Fitz is to these songs. Like, you realize that when you hear it by itself, like that's a main, chunk of that song. So it's great just hearing that isolated as well.
So Eric, can I ask you? Because I'm not positive. In the opening of that song, it's just the guitar, right?
Yeah.
Opening the song is Brad starts it.
He's doing the toggling back and forth.
He's doing the harmonics with the delay.
Yeah, he's got a delay effect going, and then I play. And then I switched patches during the drum fill.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. It's man, Fitz. I love the parts he came up with. Love the sound he used. I'm sure it'll be a ongoing trend in the course of this podcast. And I'll probably keep saying those things, but yeah.
Well, and it's also very cool to see how percussive you are. Digga 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 digga. I'm sorry, I'm excited.
Well, that is Eric Levy's number 13 favorite Eric Levy track. Let's go to number 12, Eric.
No, I'm right.
You notice how he always stops right when I get ready to start singing? He just stops. He's such a smart guy.
That's just natural instinct human beings have.
Yeah.
We all do that.
He knows I'm tone deaf.
Well, next I got Touch of Madness.
Oh.
And Fitz played this I call it like spooky. Think of it as like a spooky synth sound, but it's it happens like back and forth with Jack's vocal during the verses of Touch of Madness, and it sounds like. It's a little strange, probably.
That's crazy sounding.
Yeah, it's like now I want to go get the studio album and listen to it. Even though
Prevalent.
I think Fitz may have lifted that from a 1974 episode of Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Those damn meddling kids.
That or Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
But yeah, that's the stuff I like right there with the undertones too. Like some things that don't jump out at you, especially because you're so really invested into Jack and those verses. And hearing that, I don't know if I've ever really took that in. I'm going to have to put that on my list to go.
So is that laying down under his vocal or?
I won't even try to sing what he sings. Yeah. Even if I knew the lyrics by heart.
But it's underneath Jack singing, right?
Yeah, like he sings his first phrase and then I play.
Yeah.
As he's starting his second phrase and then.
Yeah. Now I hear you got a new friend in love.
Of the vocal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick that up.
No two.
That's the right chorus.
Wow.
We should form a Night Ranger tribute band, Eric. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you're not busy.
Hey,
we'd be like 38 Special with 2 drummers.
Leave the actual Night Ranger, Eric, and join our tribute band. It's a good business, good business decision.
Listen, you'll play to tens of people. I promise.
Where the hell are we getting tens?
Yeah.
Tens, baby.
All right, so
I can
tribute motion.
So we got Eric's number 12 is Touch of Madness in no particular order. So Eric, random number 11 on the list.
Yeah, random number 11. I've got intro to Call My Name.
Come on.
I hear you call my name.
Yeah, and at that point, I probably started getting further and further away from the exact notes that Alan played. But yeah, I try and get the beginning part at least stay completely faithful to what he was doing.
Probably one of my favorite Night Ranger songs.
Yeah.
You
need to put that down on the list to keep that in the set.
That's a super fun one to play.
God, yeah.
Actually, if you ever anytime you're on the podcast, that is your ticket for admission. You gotta play the opening key.
Call My Name.
Yep, just
yeah.
Oh, it's got that whole. I might have played it on the last podcast, but I think that end section is like my favorite
encore
moment of anything.
Dan and Dan.
Oops. Off the octave. There it is. Yeah. That's such a fun. What a great song.
Oh.
All right.
I gotta go play now. I gotta go play. I'm telling you.
If I've inspired anything, that's I've done my duty.
Woo!
It's just so cool.
You're so good.
Yes.
How long have you been practicing?
Thank you. How long have I been practicing?
You're so good.
Thank you.
Well,
you
that's
very
the Northern Illinois Husky in him.
Notice I had a comfy chair because I'm just, this is my job on the hut chair. Ishuda.
Jabba Nubada. All right. The number, in no particular order, but in order, number 10.
Yeah, so this, I don't know if this counts.
It counts.
It counts, because Alan played it, but it's the intro to Rockin' America.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it starts off with like the...
And I think a lot of people think that riff is just Jeff and Brad, and it's not. That's Fitz playing that riff.
I think it was actually Jeff and Fitz originally. Yeah, now it's me and Carrie, and because Brad's playing rhythm there.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know what's amazing, and I'm sure Eric, you're well aware of this. Is if people don't know this, if you took out that little part, you would so miss it in the song, and people would be like, "What's missing there?" And they don't realize the nuances of a keyboard riff or a little guitar part. That it's just so cool.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about with the spooky part when you were playing it. I'm like, God, if it wasn't there, you definitely notice it wasn't.
You would
there.
notice it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. There's one Fitz riff that I wish wasn't there. Well, maybe two. But let's do number 9.
Number 9. I thought I'd stick with Rockin' America, and play the verse to Rockin' America. So it starts with this, and then it goes up into. I'm playing it slow, actually. I don't know. It feels so strange playing it without drums.
And Andy, I think
my tempo might have been a little slow there.
Nah, it's good. I have a question. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think that what you just played goes to what Andy had just mentioned about you may not notice it at first, but if it wasn't there, I think that right there is a prime example of if you don't realize how big a component of the song that is, and if it wasn't there, you would definitely notice.
When I was going to ask you, with you learning all of this material, did any of this material lend itself to other ideas that you came up with that sounds good? Making something your own out of, I'm not saying borrowing, I'm just saying, how you do all your jams, like starting off with something and it just goes where it goes. Has a song developed out of anything like that with you just messing around with these old keyboard riffs?
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks so much for checking out my jams. And
every day.
Oh man, thank you. It's super kindly. Thank you. I think inevitably I'm influenced by, like, I can hear I can hear it in my time feel from like if I hear a recording of myself, like, you know, True Confession Time, our 24 strings and a drummer album was, I had been in the band a year at that point, and it still makes me cringe when I when I hear how I played it. Not that I'm playing wrong notes per se, but it's like I'm playing like laid back compared to where the band is really feeling it. Yeah, I think maybe more than anything, yeah, it's like it's really lent itself for like me feeling like, okay, yeah, I can have that intention of time feel. That night, I guess, yeah, Night Ranger has its own collectively its own time feel, and it's yeah, wonderful.
What I remember, and I think I've told this a few times in the podcast, was when I first heard, growing up in California, and I heard your keyboard riffs, I was like, okay, this is the sound that we've been missing. And that was one of the first things I remember when I heard that. And it took me back to, you know, maybe Fitz style of playing, because I've heard that before. Maybe not exactly the same, but I've heard that keyboard riff in all those Night Ranger classics that I like. So maybe subliminally you've incorporated some of his playing into the new stuff.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I treat that as like, I treat everything that Fitz played as like the source material, you know, like the Night Ranger source material. So yeah, even this new album that we're working on right now, that's like my guiding, like, you know, when in doubt, it's like, okay, what are the classic Night Ranger sounds, and what are the things that you know, were really forward thinking by Fitz back in the day too, like his especially his sound design. Some of the really interesting synth sounds that he got are like so unique, and they just, to me, like they give an imprint to whatever song he used it on. Like that's just, that song has this unique flavor because he carved out this sound really. So I try to approach it like that too, and try and not be like, okay, you know, not everything that I play needs to be something like technical. It can be, if I'm holding down one note, but that one note is programmed to do something interesting, then maybe that's really going to fit the song better. So yeah, man, yeah, I think he really brought that. But really, the other thing too is just, yeah, like we've been talking about, but the two-handed, like this Rockin' America was another one of those where when I first got to it, I was like, how could he have possibly have played that? I had to keep rewinding, and finally, like, there's no physical way to do it other than, or just, now I'm messing it up when I try and play slow, but yeah, there's no way to do it except with two hands. And actually, as evolutionary proof, growing up in California, so I can't remember if I told this story last time, but back in 2010, when I was not yet in Night Ranger, but I was playing on Jack's solo album, and it was the night before I came in to record "Growing Up in California," and Willa Vankovich from The Guess Who was helping produce the session, called me the night before, and he's like, "Yeah, can you check out Night Ranger Rockin' America? Check out the verse and see if you can come up with something along those lines for the verse of this song that we'll be playing tomorrow." So that turned out to be Growing Up in California, and then Jack ended up bringing that to Night Ranger, and that eventually became a Night Ranger song. But so evolution though, it's like I didn't have this whole two-handed Fitz technique back then. Yeah, this was still 2010. So I wrote something that could be played with one hand. So yeah,
yes,
certainly inspired by Alan Fitzgerald, no question. No question, directly, yeah. Directly trying to come up with something that he might have come up with in my mind.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Eric. Our goal on the podcast is always to make the guests feel comfortable, as you know, like a conversation. And when you were talking about the new album that you're recording, you know, if you feel comfortable and you want to do a 10-second sneak preview. Feel free anytime, anytime.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to play any.
Yeah, I know.
Look, no
We'll
one's
get there,
listening.
though.
No one's
Maybe
watching
not
this
tonight,
show.
but we'll
Yeah.
get there. And thanks, right.
96 people.
Well, if you got a Fender Strat there behind you, just hit the whammy bar for about 10 seconds, and I'm sure that will end up on the album somewhere.
It always sounds good too.
Yep. All right. So number.
First of all, thank God you guys are doing another album. I just been waiting to say that. That was the greatest news that there's another Night Ranger album coming out. So.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Yeah. That's super awesome to hear. Thank you.
You keep it right along the lines of Don't Let Up, and I'm a happy camper.
Well, I heard Eric was the lone holdout. That's the reason why it was delayed, and Eric eventually agreed.
He's like, fine.
He's like, listen, Jack Kelly, I'm ready.
They're going to name the album When the Levy Breaks.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
I already got the cover designed.
For what it's worth, and this is secondhand, but what I was told was that our engineer Anthony Fox, who's done every album that I've been involved with Night Ranger, said that this is his favorite, the one that we're doing right now. So for whatever that's worth, and I didn't hear it straight from Anthony, so I heard it secondhand, but
it's probably true.
I certainly, I'm super happy. I think the new songs are amazing. There's it feels to me like there's this depth. I guess I don't know, maybe just unavoidable considering what 2020 is, and we're all introspective to a certain degree, maybe in a way that we weren't before when we were along for the ride of life. But some really deep, just amazing songwriting, and I'm having a blast with it.
Super.
Couldn't be more psyched for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's going to love to hear that. That's great.
Eric, you're number 8 on the list. In no particular order.
In no particular order. I included this just because it's so iconic, and it's the breakdown to "Don't Tell Me You Love Me."
Yeah.
You still out there?
Oh.
Anyway, so it's not like it's a super technical thing, but that being said, it's I think again, major props to Fitz for the intent of the way that he played it, where it's it's solid and
it's signature is what it is.
Iconic.
It's a signature.
Damn. Oh. I get chills. Yeah, I do. It just takes me back.
It sounds
the video, and then when I hear it live, it's still one of my favorite songs to hear live. And I know it's coming, and I don't even care. And I'm like, yeah, just do it.
I think the first time that breakdown that he just played was actually on a Night Ranger recording, was probably live in Japan, released in '90.
Yeah,
so
they do the extended one.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm sure it was. If you got the VHS home video 7 Wishes, I know they do it on there, but the first time it's on CD, I guess, would be 1990 live in Japan. So if you want to hear what we're talking about here, go track that or pretty much any live recording of Don't Tell Me You Love Me, and you'll hear that. Number 7.
All right. Another way I included because of the iconic nature. The intro to 4 in the Morning.
That's off 7 Wishes.
I'm not gonna sing. God, I wish I could sing. God, I wish.
Neither will I.
Oh my God!
And you know what?
I say us three sing while he's doing it.
All right, no. What's
That way you can say you jammed with a person from Night Ranger.
Hang on, I'll just mute my mic and I'll sing my ass off. Hold on.
what's crazy about that, Eric, is not that I dislike 4 in the Morning, but it's definitely not probably like one of my go-to tracks. And you just playing that, like, I would now argue that might be my favorite track. Just you know what I mean? Just hearing how great that is, like, it made me fall in love with that song. Where I mean, I think when we did the set list of 2021, I know maybe we debated on kicking it off the set list, and maybe I think I kept it, but one of you
debated. It was number 2 for me. I believe it was.
But I think one of us kicked it off the set list. But Night Ranger has as well in the past. It's one of the classics that they've actually sometimes booted off. But yeah, just hearing you play that, I was like, all right, I fucking love that song.
Oh, thanks.
It's
my
awesome.
favorite Night Ranger video too, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
4 in the Morning video.
Yeah.
Best.
I think you should have ranked that higher than 7, but that's just my my personal opinion.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, I was really wondering if you were going to kick it on 7 Wishes for number 7. You know.
I should have thought about that.
Well, you know.
Hey, they can't all make your top 13. All right, number 6.
All right, so this is another one. This is unison with Brad during the middle section of the Night Ranger song.
Oh,
so, yeah. Kelly plays a drum solo, kicks into double time.
Yeah.
And, right. Then Brad comes over by me and we.
Get out today. I'll cool summer night. I can't help it.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
For a second there, I thought Jack Blades jumped in on the feed with us. I was like, hey.
I can't help it.
I
can't help it. That was awesome.
I tell you,
we can't afford to pay royalties. By the way, I hope you know that.
I hope this isn't like one of those flag YouTube videos. Or...
yeah. Well, what would be great is it would make the band meeting interesting if all 4 of us got cease and desist letters.
Eric's like, I'm in the band. I'm allowed to play it.
Yeah. You'd say I was practicing.
Yeah, on Skype I was practicing.
These 13 parts.
So number 5.
Oh, we are counting backward now. So this is, yeah. If I would have thought about it more, this would have lined up with number 7. But this is, I figured another iconic, the middle section of 7 Wishes.
Yeah. I gotta go play, man. I gotta go play drums.
I was right there in the front row again at Riverbend. 1984, what, 5?
Ooh, I'm sloppy. Yeah, it's another fun one. Forgive my sloppiness, please.
You are forgiven. And with you playing 7 Wishes, and I talk about this all the time, probably on the podcast, and someone just posted a picture of it on the Facebook page. The best recording of Fitz is the Westwood One release from the Seven Wishes tour. So it's
Really?
it's the same show as the VH1, or not the VH1, the
VHS.
the VHS recording from the Seven Wishes tour, but this was mastered for audio and to be played on the radio and everything. And if you got a nice pair of speakers and you put that vinyl on, Fitz just shines on that recording all the way through. And one thing I noticed on is when it kicks off with Seven Wishes, you just hear Fitz so much more up front than you do on the studio recording. And just hearing you play that just reminded me of that recording. So if you're a big Fitz fan, go find that 1985 Westwood One Seven Wishes vinyl release.
I wish I would have heard about this when I was joining the band and learning the parts. That I still want to go back and hear it. I'm going to make a note of that. 1985 Westwood One.
Yeah, it's so
Josh can probably find you a link for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's out there in any digital form or anything like that, but yeah,
it could be.
Well, I do maybe have some stuff to make that happen. So we'll talk. And
Off camera.
Yeah, it's and I found some stuff. I don't even know if it's out there or not. Like I found a Seven Wishes show I have on audio from Cleveland. Not that it's the best quality, but I've never seen it out there. I didn't even know I had it till I found some cassette tapes. So there's a couple others, but
I would enjoy hearing that too.
I'll
I'm from Cleveland from the mid '80s. I would love to hear it.
It's Seven Wishes. I think it's either December or January, December of '85 or January of '86.
So they were playing the
Chicago Bears were winning
Richfield.
Yeah, I don't know where they were playing. I put it
That'd
in
been the Richfield Coliseum back then. I believe
I heard you, Eric.
And I think I have I found one from the Midnight Madness tour that I've never seen before either. But Eric, we'll get together, see what we can't. You know what? I send you stuff, you send me stuff.
Fair enough.
Okay, I got two questions for you, Eric. First technical one is, when you had to learn all this stuff, I mean, the CD recordings on most of it is kind of muddy. They're not the best. I don't know. I mean, there's the Japanese CDs. They remastered them. Did they give you really good audio to go back? Or did you have isolated tracks that you were able to listen to?
No, they didn't give me any isolated tracks. That would have been helpful.
Yeah.
But the one and only thing they gave me was from Japan. It was called Rockin' Shibuya, and it was Michael Lardy playing keyboards. So yeah, it's a lot of the what I was referring back and forth as I was programming the show and learning the parts for between the studio versions and that live in Japan with Michael Lardy. So yeah, a lot of what I do is really inspired by him too.
Okay,
that's cool.
And the other question is, since you brought up the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl, I'm sure you know how to play the Super Bowl shuffle on that thing. I'm sure you learned it.
I remember back in 1985, and it like the whole city of Chicago was like so Bears crazy.
Oh
yeah,
God.
I remember we had some kind of like student assembly thing, and a bunch of kids at our school like dressed up in football uniforms and got up and lip synced. And I was standing in the back of the stage with a drum pad and just pretending to hit it, because when I would accidentally hit it, they'd be like, "Can you actually not hit that? It's distracting."
Oh Lord. That sounds like my band practices. Andy, could you just not do that?
That's great.
So
That's a great story.
So what player were you imitating? Were you Willie Gault, Dan Hampton?
Ooh,
McMahon, clearly.
Yeah.
McMahon was, as a kid, he was hard not to like.
Yeah.
Look, that was a great team, man. I don't care what anybody says. That was a phenomenal team.
It was a great era for football too.
Well, the thing about it was there's a lot of great personalities on that team.
Fridge.
Steve,
Come on.
I'm not even. To me, I don't even know if the Fridge is like a personality. I'm talking like Steve McMichael.
He was the craziest.
Yes,
I don't think legit crazy, but yeah.
I mean, I could listen to Steve McMichael talk forever. Just some of his stories, man. He's just crazy. It's right, but then
just that that who number 76 is. That's
just there's a lot. There was just so many great personalities on that team, and then if they didn't have, I don't know, I won't say like a great personality, but they were quiet. They were awesome. Walter Payton,
Singletary.
Singletary's eyes, man. It's like, those are iconics. Watching that footage of him, staring down the running back and stuff. So
I wouldn't want him chasing me down, at all.
Yeah, he was kind of a precursor, I think, maybe physically too, to some of the more modern inside linebackers, being guys who aren't as big, but are fast and
menacing,
intelligent. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely an interesting team, and that's the first. I was 8 when that Super Bowl happened, so that was like the first one that I remember. And then of all teams they get to play, it was like the Patriots, who were the second wild card team ever to make the Super Bowl. So, you knew it wasn't going to be a game to begin with. And if I remember, did the Patriots actually score first in that?
They may have, yeah. I think they may have gone up 3-0. Second play of the game, I think very uncharacteristically, Walter Payton fumbled.
Yeah.
And Patriots turned it into a field goal. But then from that point forward, it's like from a football fan point of view, it would have been great to see Miami win that AFC Championship game, because Miami was the only team that beat the Bears that year. So it would have been fitting for the Bears to have to face them in order to win it all.
Yeah, it's such a storybook type story where Chicago looks like they're going to go, be the second undefeated team, and the only team that stopped them was the
one undefeated team.
Yeah.
And who would have ever thought that the year before, that when the Dolphins were in there, that would be the only Super Bowl Dan Marino would ever go to? That's
which
still,
is sad.
That's crazy. You're right.
That still boggles my mind as well. But yeah. And Fitz, if you're listening, we would love to talk basketball with you. Fitz is a big basketball guy, so hey, if you want to talk some Golden State Warriors or whatever, get on here, and we'll have Fitz play his top 12 Eric Levy riffs.
That's right.
So, number 4.
No obligation.
Number 4, Eric, in no particular order.
Oh, so I chose this one because this is just, to me, a great example of like classic Fitz sound design, and it's the verses to "Sing Me Away." So it's actually just chords that are being played, but it does something interesting with the sound if you hear that.
Yeah, the fade.
Yeah, it's there's an envelope. What in synth talk is called an envelope on the filter that raises over time. So the sound starts off kind of dark and raises in pitch. Those upper harmonics are able to come through. So it's like he was able to just play block chords, but in a way where it's like it gives movement to those verses.
Man, that's so cool.
And that's such a big part of that song. You may not realize it, but and it kind of builds up, because the guitars kind of kick in, if I remember correctly, in the middle of the verse. So it kind of goes from, it kind of helps it build throughout the song. It goes, there's little keyboard, what are they called? What's that? Envelopes.
Yeah.
To them kind of kicking in a little bit more before they get to the chorus. And these two guys are big "Sing Me Away" fans, so I know they enjoy that.
Well, it's Kelly's best song.
Yeah,
we ranked him.
Yeah,
it's number 1.
That's incorrect.
It's a song we can't live without.
I can live without it, but I can't. The only thing that saves that song is those envelopes.
You know what? Well, you can lick this envelope, buddy.
Josh is nuts.
A tidbit. I don't know if you've ever heard. I don't know if there's ever been a recording made of this, but every once in a while during when we're sound checking, Kelly sings instead of singing the regular verse, he sings the verse to "All Right Now."
Oh, really?
That old classic.
Free song.
Free song.
Right, what's that name of the band? Yeah, and it works great over those chord changes and that groove. It works great. But he's only ever done it at sound checks. He's never gone.
I'm trying to do that in my head.
Like mid-show, right?
All right. Yeah. Wow.
Well,
that's crazy.
If you see someone crawling over, sneaking around the back doors and stuff, trying to sneak into sound check, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
Who's that back there yelling for free?
He's gonna have a mini skirt on though.
Well, hey man, I got some nice legs.
Get right in.
All right, so we mini skirt checked off the list. 85 Bears checked off the list. All right, keyboard envelopes.
Yeah.
I was hoping Eric would touch on that. All right.
Or you could put "Lick My Love Pump" by Spinal Tap. You know that one?
Did they ever actually play that song in the film, or they just?
Yeah. That's when he was in there, and he said it's a Mozart mock piece.
Oh, that's right, on the piano, right?
Yeah, that was "Lick My Love Pump."
Wow.
We had a Stonehenge that was in danger of being crushed by a midget. All right, number 3 in no particular
order.
order.
In no particular order. So I've got "At Night She Sleeps."
Oh.
Yeah, the keyboards are just like I don't even know what to pick in the keyboards of the song. They're just all fun. But
that's
the first thing I do when we're about to start the song is I do this. Oops, except with a different sound. I do this, but I do it with the volume all the way down, so you can't hear it doing that. And I do it so I can get the glide time right for the. Yeah, that's the intro.
That.
I want to stop that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Well, how you made me fall in love again with 4 a.m. did not work with "At Night She Sleeps," because when we ranked Dawn Patrol, that what's that little, first part you did?
That little diddle-doo.
That is that's probably my part of the album that I do not like, and that's why I ranked it 10. But
I can respect that.
But it is neat seeing you actually play it. Do that again. I want to.
Andy and I ranked it higher, by the way. We liked it.
You guys ranked it like 9. Don't give me any bullshit.
It was higher than 10.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's. I like everything else but that part.
See, I think it's cool.
Choruses. And then it's got that bridge.
Yeah, that's that's pretty iconic, Night Ranger catalog. Right there.
Guitar solo.
Yep.
Oh man.
And so on. Yeah.
How can you rank that 10?
Because there's 9 better songs. But
Eric, whenever you want to get under his skin when he just says something that irks you, just go.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
I can't. I mean, I can see why it's number 3 on your list, but should have been ranked lower. But
I love it.
It is weird seeing it isolated, especially the other parts towards the bridge and everything towards the end.
The guitar solo coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of saves the song from that one little thing that I don't like. That and the French horn on "Better Let It Go." But all right. Hey, man,
That's good to know. I'll keep any musical ideas that I had like that on the new record.
No, the French horn. I love the French horn. He makes fun of me for it.
More French horn.
Yeah, more French horn. Nobody else is doing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can the next time you're on a Zoom meeting, you can patch me in, and I'll tell Jack what he needs to change. Jack, now listen.
He does a phrasing for "Better Let It Go." I don't know if you know the Big Life album like we do. I don't know if you do.
Like you do.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you really know all the songs. I really don't know if you went back and just listened to the entire catalog. But when he does this little phrasing on the keyboards with the French horns, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It fits perfectly.
Which song is it? Forgive me. Which song is this again?
Better Let It Go.
Better Let It Go. And it's off Big Life, you said?
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that.
He's not even hitting Big Life until they refund him for downloading Holding the Sun.
How do you remember this stuff?
Because it was hysterical.
That's a great story.
He still sends that invoice to management, and they never pay it.
Yeah, the other day, I don't know if you saw it on the page, Eric, but a guy named Tom Chapin posted a picture of Eric Hartman, and he wrote, "Screw you guys, I'm going to go listen to Hole in the Sun." It was hysterical.
All right.
That's great. I missed it.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that. Just as much as that video I tagged you on with those high schoolers doing the musical to Night Ranger.
Oh, I forwarded that to the band also.
Did you?
Yeah.
They have
that.
I have to see it.
I don't know how I found that. Obviously, I went down the rabbit hole too far, but I found it, and I was amazed how old it was because it had been on YouTube for 12 years, and then I think they say at the beginning it's from 2004.
Yeah.
Like I don't do shrooms, but if I did, I think that's right up there with The Wall. I would eat the shrooms, I'd watch The Wall and that Night Ranger musical, and
especially when he says, I'm a boy all dressed in white and he's all black. That'd really screw with your head then. Yeah.
That didn't register. I was just like, wow, it's only high school kids could have that much energy. Like that choreography was like intense. They're just like all over the place.
And it's unique that they did "Secret of My Success." I thought that was.
It wasn't bad.
Well, with having the trumpets, the real high school band there.
It reminded me of Up for what's it called? Up for the People Up with People, the Super Bowl halftime shows in the 70s.
Oh, you got me stumped on that.
Oh,
go back.
Up with People. Check it out.
That was the 81. I know they did the 81 Super Bowl with the Bengals and Niners.
The Simpsons even mocked it.
Yeah. That was the 49ers, right?
Yep, 49ers.
And Joe Montana finding what's his name in the back of the end zone.
Well, that was
Dwight Clark and us Cowboys game.
Well, he's talking about the 88 Super Bowl Bengals, probably them finding John Taylor at the very end.
That was the one where the running back didn't show up, right?
Yep.
Stanley Wilson.
Stanley Wilson.
He was on a coke binge.
Yeah, I was 11 years old when that Super Bowl was played, and all I knew was Stanley Wilson sounded like a really fucking fun guy.
Yeah, and I remember my dad. My dad was at that game up in Pontiac, Michigan, at the Silverdome, and he came home and goes, "Can you believe Stanley Wilson?" I said, "Dad, if they would have just told him the end zone was a line of coke, he would have showed up. Well, he would have scored every single damn time."
What a lot of people don't remember is, the Niners are going down to score, and They eventually, with 33 seconds left, throw it to John Taylor, and the 49ers win. But I think 2 plays before, Montana threw a pass, and it went right to Lewis Billups, the Bengals cornerback, and he could have intercepted it. Joe Montana's fame would be a little bit, because he would have choked at the end. But
he wouldn't be the legend he is today.
He would still be there, but it would still be okay. You didn't succeed on every single one, and Lewis Billups they hit him right in the chest. Worst place to hit him. And he dropped it right on probably the 2-yard line or something like that. And you got any extra beers there, Eric? I need a drink now.
This is depressing.
Lagunitas. I should catch up. I'm still only on number 2 here.
Yeah,
these are high alcohol content, though. good stuff.
Let's let him get totally wasted and just really start playing stuff.
He will be like, here's that one shitty thing of Hole in the Sun.
He's like, let me show you how to play separate ways, the right way.
Hold on, I'm going text Jack. Jack, I want my
Jonathan Kane.
I want my $10 back, Jack. This is bullshit.
I actually blame Carrie Kelly for this completely. I think it's like a testament to how much I was missing Night Ranger, that at some point this year I switched from whiskey to Lagunitas, because Carrie's whole thing every show is the craft beer, and then our crew is like kind enough to be hooking me up with it on stage. So it's like, in a way, it's like I can't play with Night Ranger, but at least I can drink Lagunitas and play Night Ranger parts at home, I guess.
And entertain the crap out of 3 guys.
Yeah.
Actually, I got some beer in my fridge that you, Andy, and Brent would appreciate. I got some Hootapool.
Okay.
Yeah, some Hootapool, Cincinnati's finest.
14K.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Never had one.
You never had it. How you live in Cincinnati? You never have a Hootapool?
I'm a plain Miller Lite guy. I haven't had a beer in probably 12 years. For no reason.
Well,
what's wrong with you?
It's
Brent?
good stuff. You can.
It was with your ex-wife the last time I had a beer. And she bought me one to make a drink with her.
But it's good stuff. It'll get you drunk, or it'll remove paint if you need paint off the wall. All right.
Better than that Little Kings, I'm sure. That Little Kings Cream Ale. Woo!
I like Little Kings, man.
And that took the hair off my head.
And now we're back to drinking with Eric Levy.
Ooh.
And I will tell you this:
we're back.
If you guys want to drink a beer that will mess you up a little bit more than other beers, drink a 6-pack of Stroh's. I don't know what it is. I was a bartender for 10 years, so I've drank about everything. But I don't know. You take a 6-pack of everything else, and you take a 6-pack of Stroh's. I'm not saying it's the best tasting beer. I do enjoy it though, but it'll bite you on your boo boo a little bit more than the others. What are we doing? Are we just, Eric is counting down his top 13 tracks, keyboard riffs from Fitz, allegedly in no apparent order.
Thank you.
Number 2, Eric, if you are still sober enough to.
Somewhat. This is the one I added at your request. This is the intro to Eddie's Coming Out Tonight.
There we go.
Oh, man, listen to it.
There it is, yeah. And that one, the inspiration, I found a video. Thanks. Found a video. I want to say maybe like 1983 of Night Ranger, and noticed that Fitz was playing the bass part on a mode, and playing the right hand on it. I can't remember if I could see what it was. So that inspired me when I was setting up the patch. I was like, I should set up 2 different sounds. So I've got the kind of a mogy bass sound up down there, and then different texture up there for the pad.
That's so cool sounding, though. Oh, man.
Does anybody want to take a guess of what his number 1?
Number 1 is the keyboard parts to comfort me. Or don't come me.
All right.
Don't start thinking I'm alone tonight.
Yeah. We remember everything, Eric. Yeah. We're like 3-year-olds. We're sponges.
I told my daughter that story. And she went, and you sing that in the car. I'm like, I told Eric that. I said, I sing it with you.
I'm not sure I could ever tell my daughters that story.
Yeah.
But
Well, she's 18, so you know.
Maybe eventually.
Moving on. Andy, what's your guess for Eric Levy's unranked number 1?
I feel confident of what it is, but I would deep down I would hope would be the intro to "Don't Start Thinking I'm Alone Tonight" off Main Emotion.
Well,
which would pretty sure that's not it.
Well,
that's
not Fitz though.
I think it's about a relative.
Oh, you're right, man. Emotion. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot. So,
yeah, way to fuck it up.
You want me to call or just want Eric to play it?
I couldn't leave this one out, right?
Just
play us that deep track you're going to play.
Best.
And then I wait for Callie.
You almost had it, all three of us here.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta come walking out on stage with sticks in your hand.
We could sing it as Sister Christy. That way we don't get in trouble.
Iconic.
That's just.
I think this demonstrates just how important Fitz was to the Night Ranger catalog, and that's those 13 tracks. I mean, every one he's played, we knew where it was in the song. I mean, that's just how important they are. Now,
filler.
Eric, there is, and I've just recently kind of appreciated this. When you close your eyes, I never realized the riff or whatever you want to call it that Fitz plays behind Jack singing during the first verse.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little story.
Right here.
Oh, wouldn't have about me. Still think about.
Switched to I played that in the wrong octave. That's where I meant to play that chorus. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like it doesn't stand out like some of the other ones. But just one day I was cranking it, and I've probably heard it a million times, and I think it's just a great vocal by Jack, and the lyrics are so good that you always tend to go there. And one day I just happened to be listening to what Fitz was playing, and I'm like, I just kind of, it just I took it in more than I ever had before, and I just kind of started appreciating it more. And it's cool hearing you play. And I'm glad that the opening of Secret of My Success was not on this set list.
I thought about that. Well, before moving away from When You Close Your Eyes, I want to say Jack told me that he wrote that on a piano. So
wow.
Yeah, I think that was from the start. I think that was a keyboard. But right, Secret of My Success. I figured, okay, I wasn't there at the time, but David Foster was heavily involved, right? And to my ears, those keyboard parts sound more like along David Foster lines than along Fitz lines. So I chose not to include it.
Thank you.
Well, and if we can get if I ever would somehow become president, world peace, ending hunger, they'd be somewhere on my list. I'm not sure where. All I do know is on my list, ahead of all that, would be a presidential decree that Night Ranger has to replace Secret of My Success with Call My Name.
Signed,
I would love
Josh.
that.
I would cut deals
Hold
with
it up.
with foreign nations. Like, listen, we'll lower those tariffs. Call Jack Blades. I would do everything I could to get Call My Name to replace. Now I would even give him some leeway. I've thought about this a lot. Let me get my notes. All right, so they could replace Secret of My Success with, again, this would be a presidential decree, Call My Name, 7 Wishes, or Don't Start Thinking I'm Alone Tonight.
Boom.
And one last
Color
track.
Your Smile. Color Your Smile.
All right, right there, you would be at the Gulag in Siberia.
It's all right. I love that.
Halfway to the Sun. Those would be the 4 tracks you could replace it with.
Can I say, Eric? One of the things when I see you guys live is when you hit that opening of Sentimental Street. That dun dun dun. Oh man, that really just gets me going because I love that song. And
that's a hint.
Well, no, I'm just saying you left it off your list. I don't know why you left it off.
I'm like all off with my octaves tonight. It's
I was going to say
how,
that.
I guess like standing in front of the keyboard, like the ergonomics of all that is just different. Or maybe I'm just making excuses because I don't want to stop drinking Lagunitas.
Yeah, it's Lagunitas in the bloodstream.
So this stuff, backing up Kelly, I have to admit, I'm not entirely faithful to the originals.
Sentimental Street.
All right, Jesus Christ.
Now, does
mute him?
Come
yeah,
on.
it's not exactly what was on the original, but
yeah, but it's perfect, man. That little.
Thank you. Now the rest of the band comes in.
Dun dun.
And I bring in a pad.
Oh yeah.
First 2.
Adam 1-2s.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I have a question about that.
I just woke up my family.
So when Kelly comes in and he does his
scat.
Yeah, he kind of. How'd you down last night at Contemplate's Cafe? When he does it like at the beginning? Does it ever kind of get you off at all, or are you not listening to him? You just doing your own thing because he just will speed it up and slow it down, and
Yeah.
Just curious.
I'm absolutely listening to him, and yeah, first and foremost in that kind of situation, whether it's Call My Name with Jack or Sentimental Street or Sister Christian with Kelly, it's like my job at that my role at that moment is to accompany them, and ideally I want them to be up there and not having to think about what the piano's doing, just be able to sing however, whenever they want, and it's I want to key off of them and let them lead the way. Yeah.
Well, when you said you're not entirely faithful to that one part, that's what I was wondering if that's kind of what you're doing, to give him his timing, to his feel, or what have you. That's what made me think about that question.
I guess too, like I'm 10 years in at this point, so I think initially maybe some of these parts that I was playing weren't quite as dialed in. Where now it's like we've been playing songs pretty much the same way for a decade, so it feels more like second nature to play those. Yeah, but I think the exact notes that I'm playing, I think more evolved over time, and probably were a product of trying to feed off of Kelly, or like the way I play those harmonies in the chorus isn't. I'm not sure they sang harmonies on the original recording like we have the harmonies live, where I really hear that parallel movement. So it's like, and it turns out to be side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I hit those harmonies with them, also because there's no other instruments going on in that first chorus. So yeah, well, alterations like that, I guess I've allowed for modernity. Is that a word, modernity?
Well, you can tell you guys are just so tight, because with the recent show at Shipshewana, Indiana, and then you did that drive-in, we've seen the videos. I'm sure there was really no rehearsal. You guys, I'm sure, did you do a sound check? I mean, because you guys just sound so dialed in together. It sounds beautiful. That's great to be able to come together and do that.
I think, for my perspective, I think really is like, yeah, it's almost like when I'm up on stage with the band, it's like I'm still me, but I'm also a part of something that's bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's like there's something that we've learned how to do together over time by doing it again and again and again, and it just kind of like happens. I don't have to think about it too much. It just I did some of these longer breaks that we've had. I have been more nervous at home practicing, being like, wow, I forgot that, huh?
You can't tell. Everything I've seen, it just sounds fantastic. It's just one of the tightest bands I love, and that we love. You guys are just so tight. It's great.
Eric, I want to ask you a question. It's more, I guess, maybe it's like music theory and something down that route. It was either talking to Greg Eckler or David Lauser, who were two musicians that have played with Alan Fitzgerald in the late 60s and 70s. I think maybe it was David Lauser, but it could have been Greg. Said, back then, Alan Fitzgerald played a lot of bass. And like I said, I think it was David, said that he was one of the best bass players out there. And when he got his first big break, it was joining Montrose.
Right,
and Ronnie,
bass with Montrose.
Correct, on the Paper Money record with Sammy Hagar and Ronnie Montrose, and he was with a couple more Montrose records playing bass, and I can't remember if he played bass in Gamma or not. But anyways, do you think that, being such a skilled bass player, did that influence his keyboard parts? Can you see that in his writing, or is it something that's two distinct things that maybe weren't influencing each other?
Interesting. It's like sometimes I'll think of like my life in terms of bass players, like which bass players I've been playing with in which stages of my life. But I think in even a broader sense, I think there's something about the relationship between bass and keyboards where it's, I don't know, if we have some kind of mutual understanding, or I don't. It can be interesting. Generalizing people by the instrument that they choose isn't always fair, but look at like John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin and his absolutely iconic keyboard parts, and how big the keyboards were a part of that band, or Rush, how big a part of the band the keyboards were that Geddy Lee was playing at the time. So yeah, I don't know. There's some kind of symbiotic thing, I think, maybe in general. As far as the way that it related to his parts, I'm not sure, other than I think we talked about last time, where it's like I've got like, some conspiratorial fantasy of him sitting around back in the day listening to Jeff Watson do the 8-finger stuff and being like, oh, I got 10 fingers, check this out. It feels to me like, yeah, if anything, like that's the two really distinguishable things to me about what Fitz brought musically were, one, the sound design, the super creative sound design, and the way that he would give different sections of songs like their own real distinct character by approaching it that way, and the way he approached it, like with the two-handed, which is so like not a typical rock keyboard kind of thing to do. It really I don't really hear people talking about him as a keyboard player, I guess, as much as
I just remember, I think I had to go back, it was either David or Greg, but they were just talking about that time period, the early 70s, and it was, keyboards weren't really on the radar for him. He was one of the best bass players in town, and and they said that he's probably a better bass player than he was a keyboard player, and we've obviously seen tonight how great of a keyboard player he was. Brent, Andy, do you guys got anything you want to add to this before we let Eric be on his way?
Well, Eric's already on his way. I was going to add, you were talking about, I think it was a David Louser, because David was talking about Fitz's parents both being musical prodigies and what have you, and that's his background. That's what he came from. So
I believe that too.
I think they were music teachers in Maryland, if I remember.
Yeah, something. They were really well versed in what they did. But no, I just personally want to thank you. I mean, God, this is my favorite show by far now. Thank you.
Well, it's cool that you do this for the podcast and how active you are on the page, and that you do this for the fans. It's nice that we have like a central point, for all of us Night Ranger fans to kind of meet and appreciate the band. I always equate it to the Blind Melon. I don't know if you remember Blind Melon from the early 90s, that video where that little girl's dressed up as the bumblebee, and she thinks she's the only bumblebee around, and she's all sad and stuff, but then finally she finds this whole, field of bumblebees. And I feel like that's all of us dressed in Brad Gillis's 1985 Seven Wishes Bumblebee outfit. We were all just roaming around thinking we were the only Night Ranger fans, but suddenly we have found this field with this podcast and a Facebook page, and it's a field full of hundreds, if not thousands of other people in Brad Gillis's Bumblebee 1985 Seven Wishes outfit. There's a few people in Kelly's outfit.
Pajamas.
Yeah, but and then Brent's in the blazer, and over in the corner we see Eric Levy at the fedora and the red sweatpants and sweater or whatever. But we appreciate you coming on here and doing this with us, and you always got an open invitation to come on, and we appreciate it. Andy,
we cannot wait to see you on tour. God, we can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait either. And if really, Alan Fitzgerald, for someone who I've never met, to have had such a profound impact on my life and on my career. So if Alan, you do end up watching this, 100% respect and gratitude
from all of us. I mean, we love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the great, the one, the only Eric Levy. I'm gonna call him my friend. My friend Eric Levy joined us.
Hey,
I did want to say, Eric, I don't know if you realize that how just the simple task of you playing intros into songs makes our days, our lives. I had to work tonight, and I'm like, all night, I'm going to go home, and no one I work with cares. And the guy from Night Ranger is going to play songs in my ear. And they're all like, okay, weirdo.
And all his coworkers are looking over there like, why is Andy over in the back aisle of 13 rubbing his nipples?
Hey, I do that anyway. It's cold back there.
You're like, Night Ranger, Eric Levy,
anyway,
take us out.
This is actually the podcast you didn't know you need. Eric Levy, once again, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Gratitude. I don't know who that is. That's a band out of Michigan. Thanks, Eric. We love you.
Thank you. Much love.
How was that? Eric Levy playing keyboards, playing some of the best songs, some of our favorite songs from back in the day. God, it was so cool. And I know I probably reacted like a total fanboy. I spent a lot of time doing this, like, oh my God. But I think I've told you this personally, Josh. I don't know if I've said it publicly on the show, but I think I owe you a thank you because, like I said, there's a 15-year-old version of Andy who's just losing his mind because he's talking to a member of the band. And I know it's not Fitz, but it's a member of Night Ranger, and he's playing all the songs I grew up on in my ear, and he's talking to me. So I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed that episode.
What a great way to kick off 2021.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we've held on to this little nugget for a few weeks. We could have released it a couple weeks ago, but I was like, listen, that's going to be the first episode of 2021. I ain't giving that shit to 2020. Fuck that. This is going in the first episode of 2021. So, it was a fun episode. Who would have thought we would be doing stuff like this? Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it as much as we did.
Just call my name alone was worth my price of admission.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, my God, that is my all-time favorite Night Ranger tune. And I know he played a few bars the first time he was on the show, but to go on and to have me actually, I had to try to keep shutting up because I'm dying.
Yeah.
Just get in there and start singing like this, you know. Come on, tell me what it is, Fans Emotion. Keep it up. I hear voice over. Oh man, I really want you to keep listening, but if I would have been singing,
don't edit that out at all, Josh. That stays.
But yeah, get to the camera and get in there, and I'm just talking to it, and I'm like,
all right, you're scaring.
Okay.
You're scaring.
Now you're making me nervous.
But
Josh, I don't know. Did you ever touch on how that episode came about, or did you want to talk about how that real quickly? I think it's fascinating.
It was an idea that I had, and are you talking about when? Yeah, he was
your private messaging with Eric.
Yeah, we were just. He was in an airport, and I think he had some time, and we just
talking to you. We
were just talking about, I don't know, different things, and I think that's when I was like, well, I got him on the horn here. I will. I go, hey, I got this idea. What do you think? You know, and I think we were just talking about the page and stuff, and about maybe some, you know, just I don't know what we were talking about. It was just I just remember he was at the airport waiting to board or something, and that's how that came up. I was like, well, hey, why we're talking here? Let's. I got this idea. What do you think? And he was all for it. And so when he got back from that weekend, what did we do this on a Friday night, I think? And but yeah, he was more than gracious to. You all right there, Brent?
I think he broke his mic.
My scissor thing, you know how it's connected to like a desk or whatever. It came unconnected and was falling. So
all right, well, here
I'm here talking to you all.
Do the kiss thing and swing it and wrap it around your neck. But a big thanks to
people.
No.
Yeah, come on.
Big thanks to. All right. I'm
gonna break it.
Mute him.
I know. I can't help it.
I'm trying to get out of this episode here. So big thanks to Eric Levy for doing this with us. You don't know how much it means. It's great that we actually have someone like him being a great ambassador for the band, for our web, for our podcast. If you're out there listening, obviously you can find us on YouTube. That's where we upload the visual part of the podcast. fansinmotion.com. That is, you can get any of the podcasts on there, all whatever episodes we're on, 32. So all of them are on there. You can, obviously, we talk about the Facebook page a lot. Just go to Facebook, Fans of Motion Night Ranger tribute page. It should come up. Hit join. That's where all the fun is happening. And if you can get it on iTunes, but you can find this on iHeartRadio, Pandora,
Apple
iTunes,
Podcast.
Apple, all that stuff, and you can get
That's
to
where
it.
I listen to it.
And you can get to it from the from the Fans in Motion page. So yeah, if you're on there though, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave us comments. I mean, we do this is as a labor of love, but it's always great to get feedback and hear where people are listening to us. So yeah.
Yes. I love the comments. I love to go in and read and see what people say about the show and what parts they liked and what parts they didn't like. So anyway, thanks everybody, and again, super special thanks to Eric Levy for being the friend of the page that he is. And I think it's very cool that Josh gets text messages from Eric Levy sitting in an airport.
Hey, 2021. Hopefully it's better, man. Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's going to be better because I'm going to start doing every show this close.
Take us out, Andrew, now.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great 2021. And as we're recording this, I'm about to go watch my Ohio State Buckeyes. Hopefully they beat Clemson. Let's go.
I'm going to go eat Skyline Chili. And I'm going to say thank you to you two. And you've already stopped recording, haven't you?
Negative.
Yeah. OH.
Okay. Anyway, Eric, thank you. Fans of Motion, thank you. You guys, thank you. Thanks for letting me be this goofball here.
All right, guys. Later.